Alright, little update here on the Derp ATV. Well, I haven't gotten my pinion plate in yet, the new thicker kind, so I've just been kind of working on some smaller items. We'll just kind of go through it. But also, doing a little housekeeping in here. Kind of cleaned it up. A bunch of crap was at the bottom of that thing, but slowly gaining there. And another big deal is I got all the tensioner stuff pretty much lined up and ready to go, so that's all ready. The only thing I got to do is replace this guy with the thicker plate, so just to give it some rigidity there. Hopefully that'll be done mid this week. We'll see how that goes. But you can kind of see how the tensioner is set up. So there's a threaded coupler here that runs on this threaded rod, and I just use a double lock nut. That's all you need to transfer the torque to move this tensioner up and down. So right now I pretty much got her tensioned where I need it to, and I got it aligned to the best of my ability by putting a see if you can actually see this, stacking a 3/16 shim. You can kind of see the rough cut right there. So that's what I needed to do to get her lined up properly. Same thing went with the other side, but I got it where I'm comfortable with, and I kind of stacked shims and washers, modified that so there's a little more play in the system. But I'm kind of happy how that turned out. But obviously in the future I'll be running a jack shaft system, so I don't have to dick around with that stuff. The front I really didn't do anything besides, of course, adding my lower bolt there, and then of course this is pretty much tension where it needs to be too. It could use probably a little more tension, but it's a long chain after all. You don't want it too tight. Yeah, same thing goes on this side. So that, for the most part, I'm comfortable where it's at. And obviously after initial test runs I'll have to find out if there's any issues with it. If everything is good to go, I'll go in and RTV all the panels and hubs, make sure they're watertight and oil tight, and then I'll run it in crankcase oil there to keep her lubed up. Hopefully that'll give the chain a very long life compared to just running it out in the open, or like the Sherp does, have a manual lubrication system, drip system. And this is just kind of a mock-up of what the chain coupler would be. So yeah, that's basically it on the lower drivetrain. Just some time-consuming fixes going on there, but I'm comfortable where it's at. We can move on to the front side here. I'm just going to be leaving this off here, but if you want, we can take a look at the pinion. So this is where the drive chains are. So yeah, once I get a beefier plate on that back side, I'm going to be more happy of buttoning all this stuff up, at least driving it. But like I said before, I'm not going to be RTVing it until I do an initial test run. So obviously I won't be able to run this thing in water yet until the initial tests. So on the front side, this is just kind of small stuff. But I got the wiper pretty much mounted up. It's just a UTV wiper there. We'll see how it goes. I might have to stretch it to an 18-inch blade maybe at some point just to get a better swept area. We'll see how it turns out. Yeah, this is actually my first vehicle with a windshield wiper, so that's a pretty big deal there. Kind of see the nuts where the wiring loom will kind of run up. I finally got to making a bumper here. I initially had it down here, but I was like, you know what, that's probably not a good idea. So I added it to the door instead. So, nice little door there. I added a piece of rebar here because it's got these little grip serrations. I thought about, plasma cutting the, like a jagged edge, but that was a lot of work. Obviously, from a professional standpoint, you'd probably want to do that if you had the plasma cutter handy, but this is just what I had and what works. So I'm kind of happy how the step turned out. And like I said, I'm just dinking around with small stuff. I got the steering laterals mounted, the control unit. It was kind of a bitch because the way this is set up, you have to put this on first, and then you gotta assemble these, and it's just really hard to get in there and assemble all this crap while it's in here. So in the future, what I'd probably do is have like this piece being bolt on or something, so you can pull this off, and then you can just slap this whole module on like it was meant to. So there's just 3 bolts, and that whole module will pull out. But yeah, I'd probably have to make this removable, this section here. In addition, I'm going to have to make new plates because the one that I kind of mocked up here isn't long enough. Because what these are going to be for, they're going to mount the micro switches to turn off the clutches. So, yeah, one for each side. Yeah, I just kind of eyeballed the placement. I mean, obviously in the future I can probably tweak it as I go, but for now that's where it's going to be. I did get the front subfloor. Kind of happy how this turned out. You know, they are removable panels. So what I'll probably end up doing, you can kind of see all I did is just take a piece of 1-inch 16 gauge, and that fit pretty nicely over the 3/4 inch box section there. So that located nicely. Same thing goes for the other side. I don't know what this compartment's going to be for. It's probably going to be like a kind of like a junk drawer probably, but because I don't think the batteries will fit down in there. We'll see. But, yeah, one thing I'll need to do is I'm thinking getting some T-handle quarter turns to kind of clamp it down, because obviously this is going to want to flutter around once you're off-roading. So maybe I'm thinking some recessed T-handles, so that'll kind of clamp it down on the back side here, and then when it's just a tool-free removable, you just and then pull out the panel. So same thing goes for this side here. Nothing really fancy. Kind of happy how this system turned out, so I'll probably just repeat the process for the back side when I get to that. But ingress into the vehicle is actually not too bad. I don't think I'm going to add any handles. I was thinking of handle here, but that just looks kind of, it gets looking busy. So plus you can just use this as your handle anyways. Get 3 points of contact. Foot, boom, boom. It's not too bad. It is kind of a pain in the ass to get that door though. And then this is kind of what it looks like. We'll shut the door actually. Getting to the door is kind of a nuisance too, but whatever. It's not a professional build here. But visibility is not too bad. Like I said in previous videos, it'd be nice to have the side window kind of come in another 2 inches or so, just to get more window. But the front windscreen, I'm kind of liking it. I mean, it's not terrible from a visibility standpoint. I know I still have the Lexan wrap on there, but from a peripheral standpoint and up and down, I'm not too concerned. Windshield wiper doesn't look too gaudy because I still have on my line of sight. Still got the handle in the way, so steering laterals, they're not too gaudy either from a line of sight impact. Yeah. Position of the laterals, I mean, I probably would move them up a little bit just so you can use this as your armrest, kind of like the real shirt. Right now it's kind of, we'll see how much force it takes to turn it, but yeah, did some house cleaning like I was saying, and smaller items. It's just this, time-consuming small items that take time, but it makes it a little more professional, that's for sure. And then egress isn't that bad either, But yeah, I don't know what to do about maybe having a handle on the lower side here. I don't know, because when you do get up there, you're boom, boom, and then you almost have to reach down. It's kind of a pain, but Well, I'll work on it. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah. Just some smaller items there. Slowly but surely. Yeah, hopefully I get those pinion plates in and then I can get that buttoned up. That'll be awesome. It is starting to get colder, that's for sure. But it's all the small details.